Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Power Rankings for the Paladins Console League. My name is Blue, here with Console Pro News. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe right here on the channel and with this video, especially if you end up liking it. But we have some good and some juicy stuff here. A lot of things people are going to say, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But hey, that's just what it is. So let's get right into it. We're going to do a little bit differently here, as not a lot of them have changed, and we're going to show 4 at a time until we get to that top 4. So, starting things off, we have Ariel Arise at number 16. Another week, another no-show from this team. Rumors are going around about them recently trying players out, but I'll believe it when I see it. Until then, they're still number 16. They were horrible, and now they're even worse because they don't even show up. At number 15 is Stremix. They moved down 1 spot this week. A decent showing from Yada once again, but it wasn't enough to carry the team to a victory over Hydra, especially when most of the team couldn't seem to find success on anything they played. The start to the Timbermill Game 3 showed little sparks of life, but quickly got shut down, mostly due to themselves making mistakes or not capitalizing on Hydra's mistakes. Time for them to hit the coaching board and figure out what to do better, like learning how to zone effectively on simple maps, even like ice mines, which they failed to do this week. I don't see them making a run for second place, nor do I even see them losing third place to Heating Up as well. Speaking of Heating Up, they come in at number 14. Now, Heating Up not only showed up for their games this week, they actually were able to score a couple of points against Onslaught. That's the biggest achievement this roster has been able to muster up for this season so far, so take that as a win in itself, even while losing the set 3-0. That's expected going up against Onslaught. At number 13 is Absolute Rain. Now, I had some hope for this team as they took from to 4 games their first week in the PCL and with little to zero practice. Then they had an off week due to the players being unavailable to play. This means at least 2 weeks of practice should be enough to take Vroom to either Game 5 and or win the set. However, the role swap from Vroom proved too much and was absolutely dominating over this team. Basically walked all over them with ease from what it seemed to look like. At number 12, we have Stush Gaming. Now, Stush lost another match in week 8, but it was not as bad as they were able to steal a map from Earn Mana, something Stush has failed to do 90% of the time in Phase 2. Now, they just need to work on previous problems stated in past videos and hope for the best when meeting Flashpoint once more. At number 11 is Classified. I don't have a clue why this roster didn't show up, nor do I care. This is the second time, and apparently a player was sick or something, but again, I don't care. My question is, where's your subs? Not much to say for this team other than the fact that this roster is struggling, has been struggling, like I said in the past few weeks, and will continue to struggle, like I said in the past few weeks. Enjoy those salary checks with the off week, boys. Must be nice, though. Eternity Esports showed up and seemed to look like a totally different team this week, a bad one at that, with little to no resistance it seemed as well. Eastorm just walked all over this Eternity team this week. When watching the broadcasts, they had first picked IO in Game 3, but Bandmade, their support player and captain, has confirmed they last picked it and it was shown incorrectly on the broadcast, which is actually a relief to me. Otherwise, I'd have to go and think really hard on why they would first pick that champion, especially on console with other dominant hit scans available still on the board. At number 9 is Bust Down. Continuing on the downward spiral is Bust Down. Another matchup against Cyclone, and this time we're getting their faces pretty much shoved in with no sign of a pushback. Not being able to force a Game 4 like usual when meeting Cyclone means they are now out of contention of the playoffs, and making them would be next to impossible. This opens the door for Vroom, and I'd also like to note that despite Bust Down getting ran through, it's nice to see the BM meter from Ari never is on empty, with him hitting the sprays on every single one of his kills, despite losing so badly. At number 8 is Eastorm Gaming. Now, Holy Shot is back in the lineup since Counter is out of town, I believe, and it worked out for them in their favor. Although they were playing the 4th place team, both had equal struggles as well as minor success, with Eastorm having a slight advantage due to the higher map wins they currently have. Adding another 3-0 to their record is impressive, yes. especially since I expected them to lose to Eternity this week. My question now is, if Counter returns, can they have the same success with him back in the lineup, with the other roster swaps they have, and as well as the role swaps they've had? Moving on to number 7 is Hydra Gaming. Now, Hydra beat Stremix 3-0 this week, meaning they beat a team they have beaten all season so far, and even were able to do it without giving up a map this time. However, they look terrible. Apparently trade problems got in the way, so we watched Izzy Tyler play Leon, we watched King Business play Vivian, and we watched Fire Impact play both Anara and Makoa. Rotations were slow, and if they weren't slow, they just weren't there. Stremix had room to make plays, but messed it up every time themselves, and it had nothing to do with Hydra's shutting them down. Fiery doesn't look good right now, and it seems fitting since he hasn't played in the PCL in about 3 weeks. Put Mew Mew back in the lineup, I would say, especially since Fiery can't play 90% of the time because of school or something, which always seems to come up, and the other 10% of the time they are facing Onslaught, which he isn't allowed to play against. At number 6 is Vroom Vroom. I guess Naiju is just the better damage compared to Legends, and giving Legends a frontline's amount of health helps in his favor after he learns how to kill things with it. He played Makoa all 3 maps it took to dispose of Absolute Rain, and was hitting some massive hooks. Those hooks led up to huge priority picks with the help of Valerian and Naiju, who have come to be a devastating DPS duo. This team is looking even better and better each week since they had a little tumble early in the phase. However, I'm a little hesitant to push them higher in the rankings since that last time I did, they took a big dip with 2 back-to-back losses, aka the little tumble they took early in the phase. At number 5 is Earn Manor. Coming in at the same number 5 spot is Earn Manor, who, by the way, might have been able to slip into the top 4 if they didn't give up a map to a terrible Stush Gaming. The set was entertaining, however, so I won't push them down on the list for the loss at both teams playing good Paladins. If Flashburn would have had to play, it would have pushed them back into the number 2 spot most likely, with Onslaught falling to 3 for giving up points to heating up. Number 4 is Cyclone once again. Quickly disposing of Bust Down isn't impressive anymore, as they continue to do it over and over, but somehow have roster problems here and there, and have a loss to Vroom Vroom, so moving up seems unlikely for them at this point in time. Beating Vroom Vroom is a convincing matchup in their next meeting, and it could be the boost they need to get higher than 4 on the power ranking. At number 3 is Flashpoint. Aerial Rise forfeited, so Flashpoint had the week off. Now hopefully, during this, Op is back home from holiday, Prosper Logic is back to normal, and Storm Avatar is healthy again. Expecting them to beat Stush, but the next Earn Manor matchup could be a little more interesting this time around. Number 2 is Onslaught. Now, as I said in the last video, this won't last long. Flashpoint didn't play again. Earn Manor is better than Hydra, Stremix, and Heating Up, and could potentially upset Onslaught if they were to play. So Onslaught giving up points to Heating Up may have been a luck thing, but still inexcusable. After the next week or two, I'd expect Flashpoint to retake the number 2 spot, or even number 1 spot, since the only thing going for Hype Unit happens to be the fact that they still haven't lost a single map. And speaking of Hype Unit, they are at number 1 once again. And Hype Unit, once again, did not play, but it doesn't matter. Their division is not stronger. It's stronger than the Xbox NA division from Phase 1, but it's still not stronger than any other division for the most part this phase again. Hype being undefeated map-wise from Phase 1 up until now is pretty much the only thing keeping them at that number 1 spot. But there are some teams starting to creep up. Earn Manor could potentially be a top 4 team. Cyclone could make their way up if they beat Vroom Vroom more convincingly this time. Flashpoint can go up there, and Onslaught could even too, I guess, but that seems unlikely with the terrible teams they have in there. But that's it for the power rankings this week. Week 8, by the way. Week 9 coming up before you can even realize, I guess. We're already 8 weeks into this phase, which means there's only 5 more weeks until we know who's going to be making the playoffs. Could be even sooner, too. I'm guessing Hype Unit's clinched, but mathematically they're not there yet, but we all know. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the video below. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Console Pro News, and you can follow me on Twitter at RealBlueTV with no E in blue. Keep grinding, everyone.